Well, guess we can't start until we get a quorum, eh? 1, 2, 3.
Or is a quorum?
6, is it, or 5?
Yeah. Is it just literally for decisions, though?
Is it?
Just for decisions?
We've no decisions to make, haven't we? So we can start anyway.
I think so. I think that's
Yeah, no. I'm trying to bring it because he said he lived before me.
Okay, so we can have the meeting, but can't make any decision.
Can't pass anything. Good. How far away are you? Yeah, 6 o'clock. We need one more for a quorum.
Three representatives from iwi marae and representative from.
We've got to
5
You got
minutes.
it. You got it.
We've got to. No, we're right.
Yeah.
We've got 4 together, is it? 3?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Come. We'll make a start, eh?
Right.
Kia tātou, ka tūau, e tuku mi, kia tātou, ko hui mai nei, tēnei pō, hoi loa i te tuatahi, tēnei tume i atu i ngā atua, papatūna, orangi nui e tūnei, papatūna kua takoto nei, mea rawa, tumariki nui tonu, a kei te mihi, ka tika, ka mihi ahau kia rātou, ko whiturangi tia, rātou, ko wei atu ki te pō, haere, rātou kia rātou, tātou kia tātou. Ino kia tātou, i ngā mana, i ngā reo, i ngā māngai, tēnei rohe, au mai hoki mai anō, ki tēnei mihi tātou, ka ni tuko tēnā kau ki te kiti a koutou i tēnei rā, i tēnei pō, ahau koe te makariri o te rā, koe tai mai, a tātou i tēnei wā. Nō reira, tēnei te mihi mahana kia tātou katoa. Welcome everybody. Just a quick hello and thank you for coming along. Just to kick off, I'll start off with our karakia. So if we can just turn to our designated karakia. Seems to be that. Kia hora te marino. Kia whakapapa pau nanu te moana, hei huarahi mā tātou i rangi nei, aroha atu, aroha mai, tātou i a tātou kua hui e tātou ki ora tātou. Just some housekeeping matters before we start. So you're all good to go, Siv. Just make sure our cell phones are turned off or muted so that it doesn't disrupt our flow of kōrero. Excuse my back, members in the attending remotely. Just we've configured it this way for the time being, so we'll just let it roll.
Through you, Chair, I can also see them on the screen, so
Okay.
if they indicate to me that they want to speak, I can let
Yep,
them know.
cool. All right. Just in terms of if we have to evacuate this place, just the assembly areas out in the playground. I think that's all we need to know for that. Okay, I think those are the housekeeping matters I need to address. So first on the agenda is apologies. Do we have any apologies? Formal apologies?
We've received apologies from Andrea Ritchie due to a clash in the diary and Denise why she's in the Waikato from work.
Okay, kapai. And Fitu's on his way.
He's on his way. He did 5 minutes.
Okay.
He's on leave. Friends on leave overseas.
Okay. Friends on leave. Hopefully Mem's coming. Memory. But anyway, we'll just wait and see otherwise. So I guess I've got to move it to accept the apologies. We have Mark. And do we have a seconder? JD or seconder? So I guess all in favour of those apologies, say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Okay, motion carried. All right, apologies, conflicts of interest. Are there any conflicts of interest? No, no conflicts of interest. Acknowledgements and tributes. Do we have any this evening? No, nothing. Okay, cool. We'll move on. Public participation, no. Okay, so that means actions from the public participation is 0. Urgent business, nothing on the agenda. Urgent business, I think proper. Okay. Confirmation of minutes. I'll take it that the minutes have already been read. Are there any corrections from the minutes held on the 2nd of June 2026? No corrections?
Through you, Chair, I think there was just a slight correction to the fund holder of the Farron House, the Farron Journey grant recipient. But that was a minor, yeah, already been included in the
Okay,
minutes.
cool, thank you. All right, so for no other further corrections to the minutes, do I have a mover to confirm the minutes of meeting held on the 2nd of June, confirmed as a true record? Can I have a mover? JD, and a seconder?
Yep.
Mark. All in favour, say aye. And against? All right. Do we have any matters arising from the previous minutes? No matters arising?
I saw somewhere that the monies have been paid through for the.
Monies, all the money's been.
We talked about
Okay.
the expenditure, income and expenditure.
Okay.
report.
Going to be a quick meeting. Okay. Next item on the agenda then is information reports from the chief executive. So you're going to cover those basics.
Yeah, so that was the income and expenditure report.
Correct. Yep.
And that is read, but I can just speak very briefly to it and take any questions. So in terms of the report, you have been provided with a budget for the 2026-27, which is available to the committee, including training, travel and accommodation, general expenses, community development fund and community development fund for the Māori strategic training project. In terms of any grant applications that were allocated last time, from my understanding, all of the POs have been made and any invoices that need to come into us have been received. And so that process is being is underway and everything will be wrapped up in the financial year. In terms of if anyone has any questions, then we've also got the grants policy that people can refer to. There was no updates in the operational budget or the training budget either. And then we've just included the schedule of fees and charges, which set down the amounts that council charges for services, activities and approvals, facilities and so forth, and provides a transparent overview of that. And we've also included the charging and proactive release policy of BOIMA, which provides an overview of any charges for supplying information and make sure that there's a reasonable, transparent and consistent process throughout. And it ensures that information is made available unless there's reason to withhold it. The new policy goes to official information requests personal information. And charges are purely for the actual and reasonable costs for making information available. They do not apply to decision making. The local government
Official
information
Act.
act. Rita, you did have a,
Yeah, oh, I don't know why I didn't pick this up earlier. You know, just under the breakdown of the drafted budget or the budget, in brackets here, Māori Strategic Training Project. Can we call it Strategic Māori Framework? Just if we keep changing if we change the language, then people get confused. So it's Strategic Māori Framework. And Steve, I just wanted to confirm that our grant fund for community is now called a development fund, is it?
yes, that's correct.
But community boards as well, their grant funds that they give to community are now called development funds.
Yes.
Do you know what the reasoning or the rationale behind that is?
I think,
Yes. I just wonder what that implication is, you know, that every project that we fund or support has to have an element of development for something.
I think ours is directed by these PAL, aren't they?
They are, yeah, but then that's a conflict then, isn't it? Yeah. Like it must have been decided at some point in some council meeting at some.
yeah, I can provide meeting.
So it says in here, the Community Development Fund enables the committee to consider funding applications within the delegated authority with funding prioritised for initiatives that demonstrate alignment with one or more of the full PO.
Okay.
So it sets out what that Community Development Fund is for.
And I suppose three of the will probably start with support.
Yeah, in fact, yeah, true. I just worry about it being put into a box and then all of a sudden we can only distribute money if it's going to have an outcome for the wider community instead of it being more specific to marae or hapu or, you know, the aspirations and the moimoia of Māori.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's possible that there's literally, you know, the GL code name. And
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I think it's clarification on that.
All right. Anything else?
Well, there's memory.
I said it was.
Kia ora. Kia ora. No?
Kia ora.
Move around a second.
Oh, right. Yes. So we've just finished the income and expenditure report. So there are no other questions regarding the report delivered by Siv. We have
Someone's eating shivers.
could we have a mover, please?
Right.
Mark? Move the income and expenditure report and a seconder.
Yeah.
Here. Okay, all those in favour, say aye.
Aye.
Is against? Okay, carried. All right, achievements report. Okay, as read, so it's the first topic on the agenda is with you, Narita.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, around the, yeah, so the update for the strategic framework, so it's about like doing the process that I have to do with council. So at the moment, at this stage, we confirmed some budget. We confirmed a policy advisor. He came in, he did a desktop analysis, he did an interview with myself, and then he ran a 3-hour workshop with our SLT team. he has completed a report with recommendations, and we're up to that stage of that being sat with SLT, in which we'll take some more kōrero with them around that and those things that he's identified that we need to do to be to operate better under the Tiriti o Waitangi. Like he's identified areas that we're weak in, and he's given some recommendations. So at this point, I'm about to bring that to SLT and then start arranging a kōrero around that. And I'd hope that what will come from that will be some actions and some priorities, and probably some KPIs for me. When I was reading it, I was going, right, that looks like another KPI. But I will keep everybody informed as that progresses along, because I need to get it to the point where they say, right, take this to council. These are the things you want to do and achieve, and this is what it's going to cost. And then we can start the process of working with mana whenua, working with marae, and getting more information in.
I think that's the piece that we're all waiting to hear about. You know, when do we engage? Whenua?
Absolutely, yeah. I've got to do these bits in the ground first. Yeah.
I know that it takes a while for these things to progress.
Yeah, I will keep you guys informed.
Us in the loop and how it's going.
Yep.
And we look forward to participating and contributing.
Yeah.
From our
Yes, so it'll be good.
Chair, so Maria, so therefore a lot of the mahi is already done prior to it actually coming to us.
No, Cole, this is about.
It sounded like to see.
I'm just getting SLT on board. I'm just that they need a baseline too to understand where they're falling short, where they need to put emphasis, and where they need to understand where mana whenua needs to be positioned. So this is the stuff that has to happen beforehand.
So all that's happening beforehand, so all the strategic objectives and all that is done for us.
So it's, I guess it's part of all the consultation phase.
Yeah, it's
Includes all those different levels.
Yeah.
Of the organisation.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is going to be across the whole organisation. It's not just this an individual part or one or two parts, but the only way into that whole thing is through SLT.
Yeah.
So I need them to support the journey, and then I can then step forward and, you know, bring mana whenua on board and say, right, how do you want this to look? And what are the things that are priorities for everybody?
I guess the obvious thing here is that they've supported us financially by providing the 15K to actually get this thing underway. So, in my mind, that's a good thing.
It's a good thing. I'm going to have to tonu for more, of course, because that's going to take time and it's going to cost more money. And I'll have to do that. I'll have to put in a submission and speak to that, and probably call on yourself to help in that submission.
Yeah. And
speak to council and see if we can get some more funding to then progress the next steps.
Cool. We've got some questions here from
So I suppose it's just sort of like seeing, or is there a time frame for all this to see what's happening and what's going on? Is there a time frame? I see you've got 18 months, but in what does that look like moving forward? And are we moving? Because it just seems to be like we're still working at SLT level. So I'm just wanting to know, do we have a time frame?
It's such a good pathway. I mean, SLT, so far it's already been a month, quite concentrated and intense workshops with them. We've got the report back now. I'll be sharing that with SLT and then starting that next phase of discussion. So there's that part, and then if they give me a green light to then seek more funding, that could be another 3 months. If they give me a green light after that point.
So is there, I hear what Simone's saying, is there like a process, steps, you've spoken to this guy, he must have an idea in his mind, in terms of what the plan is going to be. So is he able to sort of give an outline?
Well, we thought 18 months because it does take such a lot of time.
Yeah, within that 18 months, though, if you can break that 18 months down,
I could
gives you a step phases.
Yeah, phases. Okay, I can probably put something like that together.
Broad, doesn't have to be detailed, just gives us an idea
Yeah.
of how we're
And when-
progressing against those milestones.
Yeah, when engagement is with mana.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
So I think that
Yeah.
it's keeping everybody accountable to those timeframes. Like, you know, we can just keep saying, oh yeah, you know, you got to talk with them and got to talk with them. But like putting some timeframes around that, I think we're going to keep them accountable to actually try to achieve our goals with this, maybe,
When you say they, do you mean SLT?
or whoever you're dealing with. So like SLT, because it's sitting there,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's with SLT at the moment. From SLT, it will likely go to council. So it depends how that sits with council. You know, they could at any point go, this is not the priority for us. So I've got to be very strategic in how I approach that and who comes on board and who understands what we're trying to
Or
achieve.
even though you have a time frame around that, that doesn't matter as a BAU, as business as usual. Is that what you're telling me for council?
So then
Even though
again,
we put a time frame around it.
Yeah. Oh, I can put a time frame around what we'd like to achieve in the next 18 months.
Yeah,
But
well,
I can
that's,
also
that's
get
sort of what I'm
council,
asking.
and council could say, this is not a priority at the moment. We've had another weather event, et cetera, and I'll be pushed to the back of the line.
That's cool. I
And
mean,
that's
what she's
okay.
asking for.
Yeah, that's okay, but it's looking at how we're moving. That's all I'm asking. Otherwise, we're just going to be stagnating our process within that 18 months. That's all I'm sort of trying to get here. If we have a time frame or allocated time of how long we're waiting for SLT or council, just giving us some ideas
Okay, couple.
of the length of time. Topic.
Where do they see us in that picture? I'm a little bit confused.
Where do they see the Māori Partnership Committee?
Yes.
Hopefully in the forefront,
Well, we would hope.
because you will be the conduit to that the bridging with marae and hapu. You guys will have to be the conduit for that. Yeah, so I'm presenting you guys as my mechanism, as a tool of engaging with mana whenua.
Right. And the mechanisms would be that we would get to see that document before.
Oh yeah, we'll have to whole wānanga. Yeah.
Right.
So then, just touching on the same thing, because I'm still a little bit confused on our input into the strategic framework. So at present, we've got a outside, what is it? Consultant, whatever. The better word, he's developing this framework.
No, he's not developing it.
Well, what's he doing?
He ran the first round, the first stage of speaking to our council. That's what he presented to them. So he's done a desktop analysis of what our council, how responsive we are to Te Reo Waitangi, where our shortcomings are. He interviewed me about my role in the, the things that are hard to do in my role. Then he also did a workshop with the senior leadership team and posed some really good things and questions and things for them to think about. Then he was able to formulate a report, and that is where I'm up to it now, is to actually bring that report back to SLT and say, this is what he's identified. These are his recommendations. And then we just have to take that on board and then wait for SLT to process that, work out whether some of that is a KPI that sits with me, whether some of it is, I've got to find out and take direction from them on how we take that information and how we use it.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit. So I can't see us actually having equal to that. I still believe that looks like a lot of body of the work's done, even though it hasn't passed and hasn't even gone to council. Have we had a conversation with the council, or has it come to the council to ask them about the priority of the strategic framework?
SLT, that has been something that they have been wanting to do. So this is just that background work. It's pulling it together and then having something to present to the council. It is important for this council to be more responsive to Te Reo Waitangi. There's so many members of the council that want to be better and more actively responsive.
Sort of Māori partnership, but we're not engaged in it.
So
I still believe that we should be something.
I think we're going into a rabbit hole a bit here. So The way I see it is this strategic relation,
Framework.
this framework,
Yeah.
okay, we've got a consultant in, but at some point we must have a roadmap, right?
Yeah,
So you
okay.
put the consultant in to do his stuff. Then at some point, and he's spoken to the SLT, then at some point there's got to be engaged
Yes.
with mana whenua
Yeah,
at some point.
Yeah.
Then there's going to be a discussion around what that framework, so based on all of that information.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to collect all that
Yeah.
information together and put it into a framework.
Mm.
Then it's got to be reviewed.
Mm.
And then
That's right.
after that, it's refined into a policy document, a framework document, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So those steps along the way is what
Yeah,
what
got
to
it.
try and get,
Yeah.
get to, and a timeline around that.
Yeah, I just think we need to be
The
cautious.
Māori Partnership Board, when does the Māori Partnership Committee have a say in that?
Yeah, that's about what I was going to say.
That's what we're all saying.
No, everybody else is having a say, but isn't this for us to initiate? So we're the missing part within this kōrero here. That's what I'm hearing. Everybody else is doing the mahi except our input here.
Because
Kia ora.
the risk that we take is that we end up being representing the council to our people rather than representing our people to the council. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be vexatious. I'm just wanting to be really clear about why we're here, you know? And that's, don't take that as a criticism, take that as a.
No, ka wai.
So it's all those interested parties, right? They need to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's not going to land anywhere unless I get SLT on.
That's cool. Yeah.
So I've got to do this,
Yeah.
this ugly bit, but I've got to do it.
The question was give us the steps, right? The broad steps, who's going to be engaged, timeline, and then that's all we want to know.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
I think-
broad picture.
I think there's like what Simone said is like, I thought this was our framework. I thought we should be developing this framework and we should have talked to whoever you've got in to be the consultant to develop a framework. But how can he develop a framework when he hasn't even had a conversation with us?
But it goes back to, if I don't get SLT on board, and that's not meaning that we're creating something for our council, because we're not going to let that happen as a Māori Partnership Committee. That won't happen. But if I don't get them on board and understand where they have to be as treaty partners, we're not going to land it. They've got to be treaty partners. They've got to understand their shortcomings so far as an organisation.
But he can't develop our framework.
He's not going to develop your framework. That part will come into engagement with mana whenua, which you guys are going to be the conduit for.
So we should be talking about our framework already. We don't have to
That's
worry
right.
because we already need a
are.
framework.
Heidi, Tunu, go for it.
We already
Um,
decided that before, when we were talking about the other policy thing and we needed a framework, that this was our framework.
It's our framework, correct? But at this stage, there's a process we're going through. We'll have our say. No doubt that we'll have our say in it.
You will have your say. Yeah.
What we're trying to achieve at this stage is a framework around which we're going to discuss this process. We will have a part to play in all of this.
But listening to the reader, our process has been the conduit to present it to our people.
Yeah, we just need to ensure that that's not.
I mean, we say, oh, well, this is.
No, that's not us.
This isn't a. You know, is that before we presented to them, or what are we, is that all we are? And just be told what they have, or given what they have and what he believes is appropriate.
No, wrong. No, it's the wrong whakaaro. It's going to be your framework. I've just got to get through and get us some green lights so that you guys can engage with mana whenua, with your whānau.
Well, getting back
And say what you want.
It was about upgrading the policy. And that, so now we've got that, however old it is, policy in place. And when we were going through that review, the strategic framework come about. So at present, that policy is the existing policy. Anyway,
You know, we could go through this week and realise we don't need a Māori policy, you know? We can't just lock it all down on just our policy.
I think
So-
the onus is on us. We take it to our people and they say, no, this is not what we want you to represent for us. Then we've got to be strong and say, take it back to how's that be, and say, well, took it to our people and they said no.
so but the SLT presented to the council presents the next step after they've looked at it.
Well,
That's
you know,
what you said.
yeah, I mean, I'm making an
And
assumption that,
you also made the comment in that council was disregarded and not be a priority.
it could,
So how?
but it could be that SLT might go,
that position.
I can't do it if the council.
I'm just getting tied up in this one aspect of this whole process. Karen, do you have something to say, please?
I do. So my understanding is that there is some groundwork that needs to happen before SLT will go ahead and say, right, you guys go for it, create your framework. We've got 15,000 plus funds at this point to actually spend on creating the framework, and that will include us having our say. It will include us going out to our communities, seeking feedback around what they think it should look like, and the end product will be a framework that we can utilise to go forward, and our policy will fall out of that. That's my understanding. So I don't understand why everyone's worried that we're not going to be able to have any input.
Yes, absolutely. Agreed. Okay, let's move on. Thank you. The other point in the report here is we had some discussions earlier on around the elections in the NZ presentation. The key takeaway from that for me, there were some key dates in there that we should be aware of. And noting, of course, that the election process has changed from last time, and that is that everybody needs to be enrolled 13 days or 14 days prior to election day, whereas before you could enroll on the day. So you just need to ram that home to all of our people. And also there's the Elections New Zealand have offered their services to Marae if they are required. So if you've taken up that opportunity, it's well and good, but it's still there. Okay, the other topic for discussion is the flood management activities. So at this point, I'm just going to hand over to you, Mem, to give us some more details around this kaupapa. So I'll hand over to you.
Did you have something to say, Karen? I saw your hand up.
Oh yes, but that goes back to the election discussion. I know that South Wairarapa District Council are planning to hold sessions at the local libraries, which is all well and good, but is that going to actually reach our target audience? Because I don't believe it will. I know that a lot of other regions actually went to the Matariki celebrations and had stalls there. And that's a no-brainer. You are going to reach our target audience to get them to enrol, encourage them to vote. So I'm just wanted to say that I think, we're a little bit behind the 8 ball, and strongly encourage our marae to get behind this, because if we don't, we're going to be stuck with another session with these people managing our government.
So isn't that up to each marae or each hapu to actually try to, get things going as well? And with in conjunction with our Māori ward. So I think, again, it's probably something that they all need to talk about, and probably ourselves as well, just sort of putting information out there. But I think it's a collaborative approach. Everybody needs to be on board. It's not just us as a Māori partnership. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree. We all need to be on board with
Yeah.
this.
Sorry, thank you for bringing that up, Karen. Sorry, any other questions on that topic? Totally agreed. Right, thank you. Back to you, Min.
You're on mute, mute.
I'm just trying to find the half pie report. Have you got a copy of that? No. That I did up for the hui.
No.
No, it's not in the paper. Min, just talk to him.
Okay, cool. So it was just really a kind of report that I wanted to discuss with all of the emergency works that's going on in the rivers down here pertaining to the roading. I wanted to have a conversation from us to put forward something to the councils about the impact that the roading is having on the rivers. And that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about, is the, like the Te Rata Road. That may be because of the 4 events now that we've had that the river goes over Te Rata Road. That for us as a rōpū, when does Te Mana o Te Wai take effect? And I'm just wanting your guys' whakaaro on that.
Can you just dive a little bit deeper into that Te Mana o Te Wai, please? What do you mean?
So Te Mana o Te Wai is about pretty much exactly that. So the river has jumped out of the path, and I put that in commas, that has been created. It's jumped out of that 4 times since February. And that is, to me, Te Mana o Te Wai. So the Wai has said, this is the path that I want to go on. Doesn't matter how much you try and manage me, I'm going to continue to do this. And then there's works that happen in the river because it keeps going across Te Rata Road. And at what point do we decide that that's Te Mana o Te Wai, and that we did look at options about moving the road or something else? Because the more works that happens in the river at the moment we're just going to get more devastation. I mean, now it's impacting on the bridge, and then we're dumping boulders into the bridge, and no one's actually taking any care for the fish that are in the rivers. Whose responsibility is it?
Do you have any suggestions at all around what we as a strategic advisor to council might help alleviate the problem?
Well, if you're talking about the bridge needs to be wider because it's it's like a bottleneck. The river is wide further up the Turanganui. This is just one river. The river is wider and it's taking its own path, and then it gets down to the bridge, which is really narrow. And then all of the, they're talking about gravel extraction that's supposed to mitigate it bursting at the seams, all of this rubbish. But we're not coming up with solutions that would be beneficial to the environment or the taiao or the tupuna in the river, that we're just managing it for the benefit of roads and bridges and people. That I believe that us as a Māori partnership, that we need to be looking into this as from a taiao perspective, from a Māori worldview, and not as a capitalist. I see hands up.
Simon.
Basically.
First,
I think Karen.
Oh, Memory, what would you like to see happen? What, in a ideal situation, what do you think we should be wanting to do?
Well, I'd move Te Rata Road because it services 3 households. But we're willing to move the river, I don't know how many times this year, to save one road that services 3 households. And when there's another option, and let's move the road to the other side of the bridge, which is what people were using when the bridge was out. It means going through people's farms, so it means having a conversation with the farmers. It might mean buying some land off the farmers, or it might mean taking it under the Public Works Act, which they've done before. And if it's all right to do it to us, then why isn't it all right to do it to somebody else? But that part of the road used to be there before this Te Rata Road. And the other thing, and this is just the Tūranganui I'm talking about, is, and that's only because of the roads, is the Tūranganui Bridge that keeps getting washed out is because it's too narrow. And so the just dumping rocks in the river is not going to make any difference. I mean, we've had 4 events already this year, and 2 of them have washed the bridge out. And I think it's just going to keep happening.
So
my suggestion too is to what would be be a solution to what we already know has been happening again and again. So, again, as a member of the Māori Partnership Committee, I think these are quite some good solutions that we could go to council with and say, here's what we suggest from, a Māori perspective, maybe, and knowing that was a road previously, like in only 3 people, would save money if we got rid of it and went the other way. So again, it's about coming up with some constructive solutions and putting them forward. I think that's what we're about. We're an advisory group. So yeah, kia ora.
And from a ratepayer, because we're ratepayers too, the ratepayers, everyone's paying for that.
Yeah.
Not just the 3 households that live down that road. So yeah, I don't know.
So how else would they access? What other road are you referring to? Cape Palliser or Whakatomotomo?
I'm not referring to Whakatomotomo. So yes, you would probably come out at Whakatomotomo over Te Rata Bridge, but the road will go down up on the other side, by the A-Burns and through John Coveney's and then out onto the bridge at Te Rata Road.
So those from out that area, does that sound like a viable option?
It's all viable, it's about how much money they want to spend.
Mm.
And I mean, should we be advising them from a Māori point of view or from a practical point of view? Because I mean, I see all those willows bunched up against that bridge and go, well, that's not going to work.
I think from what Ben was saying was te mana o te wai is determining where it goes.
Yeah, because if you go down there, right, I mean, we know this whole place is wetlands, but if you go down to the Tūranganui and if you could get up to Whakatomotomo at the top end and look down, the river is wider, right? And it was wider all the way down. So where the campground is, where the water went that other time, that's the river bed. And we're trying to manage the awa to go through that little gap where the bridge is, when, you know, look how wide that was. And climate change is going to get more and more. We've got all those pines up the valley, they're going to come down. All that's going to come down. It's not just the willows. GW has planted more friggin' willows. So, and you're right, Mark, you know, at that bridge is all of those willows that are choking the river right there. So it's going to just find its own way around.
What you're saying, I mean, I think the photos I've seen of the bridge, it's the road either side that gets washed out, right?
Exactly, because the bridge is too narrow.
Yeah. So the bridge gets blocked, the road washes away. I'm not a
But
hydrologist.
The river didn't get blocked. It
No.
was not blocked. It was just the amount of water coming through did not fit through that gap. So it just went around. It went around the bridge and then washed the side of the bridge away, going around the bridge. And you know where at first, and the first time it went out, it was the south end of the bridge. And when they dumped all of that new rock there, what happened is that the water came round, the water from Coveney's place came round, and it caused the suction from the other side of the bridge, which washed out the opposite side of that, what they just finished fixing. So it was like a suction effect that created that pothole, that sinkhole on the opposite side. And then with the sheer amount of volume of water coming down the river, it just went around the bridge. And if we're talking about money, about moving the road and buying a bit of land, I wonder how much money we've spent in the last 4 events on managing the river.
From a climate point of view, I consider that from February, we've had 4 events as big as Gabriel for us. 4 in 6 months.
I think these 4 events individually were worse than Gabriel. I was here for Gabriel. It's the first time I moved here. It was when it happened a couple of days after I moved here, and I was living in a caravan. And I survived. I don't think I would have survived in a caravan with these other events down here. So I think it was worse than Gabriel.
It's the number of times that worries me, not the brute strength, you know.
The climate change is just going to become more and more prevalent, these sort of weather impacts. It's just going to become a normal occurrence. So something really needs to change. And I think if you're looking at that Te Mana o Te Wai, I think from our perspective, we need to start listening and seeing and watching what she's doing and making recommendations. And I think if we do our job as far as that's concerned, I think, you know, we've covered ourselves from a iwi hapu perspective.
I think just from listening to the conversation, we're almost coming to a point, to a resolution based on Te Māori o Te Awa and Te Mana o Te Wai, that there might be some opportunities to discuss alternate options based on what you've provided us, Mem. So somehow or other, if we can craft up a resolution based on, you know, argument from the Taiao perspective and Mana o Te Wai, we need to be looking at options on how we're going to get an alternative route in the.
It's probably, really, you might know, probably may not know. And we're getting reports on the infrastructure being on.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
On all that stuff, all these events that we're having and all the damages that we run, because it's huge. It's huge right throughout the district, and it's going to be a real struggle to be able to cope with it all. And regarding the funding that we get from NGTA or whatever it is. So I think to lead into that conversation around why we need to have all the other information as well to build in it, because some of it may fit within that, but we don't know what it is. We don't know what the roads and wires are saying about that. When we know that all the roads, all the rivers and all the old streams are huge, they're flooding everywhere. Just going out to Cape Palliser or something. So yes,
Yeah, I guess that comes back to this strategic planning piece where there needs to be more engagement with mana whenua, and because this is a perfect example of, you know, listening to the awa, that will give you guidance in terms of where you need to be putting the road. And we've got a few options for you to consider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a collaborative approach, right? So I come to the Māori Partnership because of the roads that belong to the council that have an effect on what's happening in the rivers, but there's a whole heap of other stuff, like it's not just that. There's other things that impact it. And, you know, I feel that just coming to the council for this part, there needs to be a whole collective approach to it. There needs to be GW involved, there needs to be the iwi involved, there needs to be all of these collectively coming together as a solution overall. We need to be big picture thinking rather than just trying to put a band-aid on one little aspect, because that's not going to fix the, you know, it's our part of the big picture, but we should all be talking as one. You know, I don't know if I'm making sense.
I hear you, but who are our representatives from iwi for this? Where are they? What information, you know, that they may be having from an iwi perspective? So do we have a Kahangunu and Rangitane rep here? They may have some information. So, you know, getting all of this from them. Who are our reps from Kahangunu and Rangitane that may know a bit more of what the iwi are doing? Do we have that? Or do we have these people on our board?
And the council, the iwi will have a policy on te manatu te wai. They'll be working on, I'm pretty sure they're working on some policies around that, because it's a nationwide thing. We Googled te manatu te wai and it's national. And it's got guiding principles and stuff like that. And I know that Andrea was the Kahangunu one, and Dottie was the only Tāne one.
She still is.
She still is. She's not here, and that's something that we might be able to ask her. And then I don't know, Andrea's still the Kahangunu one.
They're to put forward somebody.
They haven't put forward someone. So that's the process we need to ask as well.
Of course, there's also the Warrap Moana Statutory Board. And they've just said, PJ Devonshire pointed to that. Well, they must have something to do with all of this mana te wai as well.
Yeah, they're working on it. I know that they, Ian was creating an overarching vision for the second board is no longer there, and they just employed someone else to carry on the work. So yeah, there's a whole heap of, it's tying all those, like you say, a collaborative approach and getting everyone together, beginning an understanding where everyone's sitting on this. Well, South Wai's going to struggle with all the amount of damage that's out.
Just trying to think what's the best strategy, whether it's to write a report to bring to, as the Māori Partnership Committee, to bring it to council, or whether it's better to go through iwi and have your collective approach from mana whenua and iwi, hapu marae, and bring that to the council table.
So when I spoke to Uncle Hami about this issue, and him and I went out for a drive, this is why I put this to us, is he said that it would be better for me to come to Māori Partnership Group to, because it's the council's roads. If it's the issue with the roads, then come here. And eventually it will be the statutory board as well, because they are not just the governance for the Warapamoana, but the tributaries as well. But I mean, we can be front leaders. Surely we don't have to wait for them. You know, we surely, it's just a waiting game. I mean, when do we stop waiting?
Priorities thing.
Yeah, I think it needs to come from us, and if we just sort of like look at doing a report, at least we're prepared, we're ready to go with something, rather than, and at least, again, we're looking proactive about trying to get some solutions or trying to put something forward. I think it makes us look, proactive and trying to make resolutions somewhere. That's just my whakaaro. Whether that's the right process, I don't know.
Do you have time to sort of craft up something a little more detailed moving after this discussion? Do you need help with that? I agree, if we pump something up through here is an initial start. I think this discussion has been really good.
Yeah, I mean, I can draft something and then we can all have a to-do with it.
Yeah, okay.
Just give me a time frame and
So, Chair, do you want to craft a recommendation at the moment, or is it for memory and?
Well, the recommendation at this point, I think, is that we will draft up a report, a proposal on how we think the way forward might look like as an initial step. So with your initiation then, and with our input, we'll come together and pass it up. Does that?
Really, if you need a time frame, Mem, do we need to have something before the next hui, or is that what we're looking at, or when do you want this set by? Just so we can keep moving and just so we know how long we've got to get something together.
Sounds like we probably need to move pretty smartly on this. How soon do you think we might be able to get a draft together? And then we'll just look it out.
Oh, in the next couple of days, I can have a draft together.
Right. As soon as you've got something together, if you can flick it through into Civ, then you can flick it out to everybody else to provide input to it.
You also want to ask officers for information at this stage, more information.
I was about to suggest that, because you might want to hear from roading and infrastructure, but also some of it is a GW responsibility as well. So there's other agencies, but Mem's saying the collaboration needs to be a part of it as well.
Maybe the key findings.
Yeah.
When is our next forum?
4th of August?
Next month.
Yeah, next month, 4th of August.
Yeah.
Not that far. Date's a bit close.
Well, we can come together at that forum. Once Mem's done initial draft, and you guys have had a chance to play around with it, and then we can come together at the forum, try and consolidate everything there. Karen. Oh.
Yeah, I was just going to suggest we use our next forum to fine tune it before we end it out. But getting reports from the roading people within council and GW, that would be really good if we could manage that before the 4th of August.
Yeah.
That's something you can get.
So who's going to do that? Is that something?
Oh, no, I'll do that, Karen. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
I just want to say ngā mihi for the important support for that.
So can you just read them from what we got down there?
So First of all, we have to receive your, the chairperson's report. And then, I've noted that Narita, has an action to seek further information from GW and Roding with some District Council and emergency management maybe as well.
Yep.
And
They're finding.
whether or not you also want to then do a resolution around the fact that you're going to draft a report and work on this at the next formal meeting.
Do you want to do that first?
Yeah, but we probably have to just take 2 minutes to just make sure we get the wording correct. So we might just adjourn the meeting for 2 minutes or something until we.
We got anything?
If you want a recommendation. Whatever.
What do we do first? We just move the minutes. Okay. Yep. Could I have a mover to Tim's report and a seconder? All those in favour, aye?
Aye.
Against?
Aye.
Yeah, Mark and JD.
Eddie.
And then
Draft
draft a report or proposal on how, on a way forward, on what a way forward may look like as an initial step.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
There's a recommendation.
And to be reviewed at our next forum. You want me to read it out? Read your writing. So as a recommendation to this discussion on flood management, we'll draft a report or proposal, what a way forward may look like as an initial step to be reviewed by our next forum timeframe. Yep.
Can we change the word flood management? Because there's no such thing as managing floods.
We want to change it to.
I don't know. It's like flood protection.
I can make a note of that.
Okay, we'll think of something.
But it's not directly
Flood damage.
included in the,
Flood damage.
it's not.
The road effects on the river. You got to change the mentality, because what we're doing is we're blaming the flood. It's not the flood. It's ourselves.
The road's in the wrong place.
Yeah, it's not the flood's fault.
Yeah.
It's our fault. So those words, flood protection, all of that stuff is putting the onus back on the tire, where it's not their fault. It's not that fault. It's our fault. So we should be flood protecting. We should be ensuring that there are floods. That's the thing that we should be protecting. But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. All right, how's this
And
draft?
There ain't been this. Read.
Draft a report on the road effects on the river,
I've even had,
and what a way forward may look like as an initial step. Reviewed at our next forum.
So I think our
Do we need to put in the request?
I can't hear you
principle.
because
Can we
there's
just-
all this other talking.
Just quiet down for a minute, please, so while I read this recommendation. So the recommendation is draft a report or proposal on the road effects on the river in a way forward, what that might look like as an initial step to be reviewed at our next forum.
Road effects on the road.
Bye-bye.
Right, come on. Right, is there anything else? Oh, yeah. Do we have a mover and a seconder for that?
I move it.
Yeah.
JD move and Henry second.
We have to put in regarding, in there, regarding, after that, beside that. Regarding any question further information from Christian staff or have you got that?
So
you're just going to.
Yeah, Narita will do that.
It's an action plan, yeah.
Yeah, as an action.
Yeah. And we'll look at, yeah, what were their findings, especially GW. I'd like to know what their findings were. Yeah, and the infrastructure and roading too, yeah.
So, what we're trying to achieve is restoring the balance.
Mm.
Yeah.
Good for Carl, yeah.
The po te reo.
Aye.
Nice. I think that's everyone done. We don't have any general business. So we'll move to the closing karakia.
Oh, I have one item.
Oh, sorry.
Wellington water plants. We still have them at the nursery. There's 200 plants and they were destined to go into an area in Martinborough because of the damage that was caused to the Ruramahanga when the wastewater treatment failed. And we're doing our best to keep them alive, but we really do need to make a call and figure out what to do with them.
But I did speak to Peter
now,
and he's recommended that they go to Tilson's down Papawai. Tilson's Creek, because there's already some work started there. And
So-
so I was just trying to catch him today when he came out of a meeting, but I left before he got out of the meeting.
Peter who, sorry?
Peter Trafford.
Oh,
So-
Peter Trafford.
Yeah. But also
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
waiting on Alan to send through what species they were, but I said to him it was all riparian to start
Yeah,
with.
it's all riparian. I've got the species.
Oh yeah, okay. Can you send it to me?
Yep.
Cool.
There's only
We'll
3
open
species.
it now. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Kapai.
That's it. Yep.
Cool. Karakia whakamutinga. Whamutu a mātou mahi, o tēnei wā nā ki tia mai mātou katoa. Mātou hoa, mātou e whānei, ai o ki te aorangi. Kia ora tātou.
Kia ora.
Tō mari e.
Ora rau.
Not bad.
Kia ora.
O Marie.